Yes, what is going on, everybody? We already know this is episode 4. Damn, I will put on oil. Episode 4 of Off the Hinges. Yeah, that's gonna be worth it. And so I'm gonna be taking this one take. I decided to make this into 2 videos because there's so much to talk about today. As you can see, the current environment is my apartment. I'll get to that pretty soon. And I will address a lot. First off, the shirt's from New Jersey. Shout out to where you gotta go to get this shirt. Off the Hinges episode 4. Oh my goodness. Shout out to today's date. It's Memorial Day. May 25th, 2026. And I believe it's like 8 or 9 in the morning. And in this episode 4 Off the Hinges, I decided I wanted to purposely do this while I'm very tired because I'm gonna sound far more calm than I should be. I mean, I'm always calm no matter what. Oh, snap. Yes, I have a lot of videos online, too, to be specific, where you could challenge my pacifist theories, but I really could go into details on those videos, so I won't even just mention that outside of mentioning that. So yeah, hey everybody, it's been a long time. Episode 4, Off the Hinges, starring Mr. Just put castor oil on my face to look less ashy. TMI, I just shaved like 3 hours ago. And just to tell you what today's date is again, it is Monday, Memorial Day, May 25th, 2026. And I first want to actually talk about so much because Off the Hinges episode 3 was like 3 years ago. And 3 years ago or something like that, so many years ago, so much has happened. Maybe in this future I will, reason for this video is because the fact it's in my apartment, I'm still surrounded by trees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pine trees that I could see. Probably 3 big old trees that I should know those species, but I just don't want to say the wrong one. And yes, I will first start off with the dumbest conspiracy that I'm actually starting to sense about myself from people that I grew up with, childhood friends, quote unquote friends. I'm 34 years old. I was born in 1992. I actually can't go into the whole my past, but I'll just say I currently don't work for the government. Never have. I never joined the army. I live in the United States. To be as very recent as right now, I am currently in Colorado. Lakewood, Colorado. Shout out, y'all. Anyway, I'm in Lakewood, Colorado. Born in New York City, but raised in Jersey City. And yeah, I've never joined the Army, the U.S. Army, the U.S. military, not any branches. Not that I didn't want to, but because they don't allow weed smokers, or marijuana is not legal federally, but even so, they don't allow potheads in the Army. But there's not much of a conspiracy, but I believe, or I can sense that some people think that the fact that my father and my sister, they're both in the military or have served. Don't tell me what they're both not. They're both far out of the military. They're like just regular citizens at this point. But yeah, they basically can be described as anybody else that just joins the military just for money and benefits. I remember talking to my dad before he joined. He was literally just joining for the money, and of course, around that age, everybody that can look back and find those pictures. I think I was around the 8th grade. I think freshman year in high school. I don't know. Honestly, I really can't remember. I don't remember when my dad was in the Army, National Guard, or when my sister was in her Army Reserve. But yeah, I personally never joined. I was always hanging around them at that time when they were visiting these Army bases. And a lot of the recruiters and their sergeants always looked at me and said, "Hey, why don't you join?" And I said, whatever I said at the time, it wasn't the whole "y'all don't smoke weed. You soldiers aren't really soldiers." I wouldn't want to join any army forever because we're in 2026 or 2026. Hey, wait, hold on. I will tell you guys, I've been, I smoked one joint, and also, disclaimer, I'm on this half can of, you'll see me take swigs of it pretty soon, but I just had just had an hour and 45-minute long conversation with my father right before me quitting this video. So, yeah, I smoked, then I called him. We had to talk literally about a whole bunch of nothingness. Me and my father have a lot of conversations that, I'll say it, you could say I'm raising him, even though I'm 34. Ha 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 ha. You could, yeah. You wouldn't care if I said that, honestly. But going back to, yeah, he did serve his time in the Army, but when my sister joined, that was her choice as well. And me, again, I never joined because that was my choice. I told myself they don't allow weed in the Army. And also, if I was ever to join the Army, it would just to be to learn some stuff or to get sharper at shooting. But yeah, just to kill that theory of I'm like some kind of U.S. plant or some kind of government plant. All the stuff that I post on my social media, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. I don't post a lot on my Instagram. All the posts I post on my Karma Built Records. Karma Built Records. There's so many photos right now. I haven't said some captions on some photos as of right now today, May 25th, Memorial Day. And also, there's this there's this bump that has, yeah, it's a freaking knot. It has been there for many, many years. I literally turned the corner and went donk. And that knot has been there ever since. Of course, I never went to the hospital for that, but just wanted to shout out that knot because I've been noticing it lately. Like, dang, why am I, why is my why does my forehead like look like there could be a horn about to stick out of it? But it's really that bump that I remember it so much. It really hurt like a moodle doodle. Yeah. This interesting time that we're living in right now, where people are really, I always say, it's important to be yourself. A good person will tell you to be a good person because they're a good person. But I am very wise. I look at the macro scale, the bigger picture. I'm gonna start really telling people, not telling like they're gonna listen, but just influencing people to just be themselves. Because for the first part, I believe most of the world is good. And if you want to believe that population is 8.4 or 5 billion people on this planet Earth that we call where the sunshine is coming from. I kind of want to show you guys outside, but this is Off the Hinges episode 4. 3 years from now, and so as far as we got 8.4 billion people on this planet. Every body is definitely here to, be themselves. I am wise enough to tell them, hey, whatever your religion is, if it makes you happy, if it's what you want to be, that's your choice. Me, for myself, I have my own religion. Oh, let me go grab my chain that I'm not wearing, apparently. But I have my own religion. It's called perspective because I understand that no matter what, I won't be able to change anybody else's perspective outside of their own childhood. Not that I would want to, but if everybody was on the same page as far as trying to build my dream that I could call Pangea. Something just felt something when I said that right now. But the dream that I call Pangea, it is based off of my religion. My religion is, like I said, called perception, but it's also based off of just two aspects of light and sound. Scientifically speaking, light and sound could be separated into its own fields of a lot of supernatural stuff, but light and sound, I'm just gonna go back to your sentence. This is episode off the Hinges episode 1 type of stuff. Pangea for me, it's the idea that the fact we have all this technology, the fact that today, right now, we do see how this world is set up for a situation where we could all coincide together. Might sound crazy, but Pangea is the idea that all these land masses that we're on right now, I'm just in my apartment, but in the fact that I am America, it was once a part of a bigger landmass that was once a part and connected to all the other land masses on this planet. Very much when the Earth was young, very, very young, all the land masses were together. As far as humans, I guess we researched that and studied rocks and water levels and came down to that conclusion and called it Pangea. But for me, I call it Pangea in 2026 in the idea of we as a people can use our technology and most importantly, all the ideas that we already have for a better world with the better inventions. There's so many. I'm not gonna go into so many inventions, man. Episode 4 off the hinges will not be edited. But my goodness, I will one day start talking about everything that I guess I just researched or some information that I know about. Pangea really would look like what the United Nations could be if, what the United Nations is going through right now as far as a body system. You can't throw out everything that's good and bad. The bad that I could point out is the fact that, yes, African leaders have been. I'll just stop right there. I know some stuff, but it's not important to go off and rehash the past. The United Nations has the ability to right now understand that the good work it's doing, having 68,000 people as far as soldiers, peacekeepers. The peace force, 68,000 is what I've heard as far as soldiers that the United Nations has to bring peace in many places that is on Earth that are going through, border disputes most likely. Pangea, for me, trying to push that into the mainstream population is the fact that the knowledge that we now know as far as me being an American in 2026 too. Not even shout out, that's the worst word I should say. The human race is now going through a war that we started a long time ago. It's called greedy people, man. And also, again, going back to everybody should just be themselves. There's good and bad people in this world. The bad people are starting to look very obvious. The good people are starting to sound very obvious. But here's where some people are like, oh, it's not just good and bad. Or that's what some people say. Oh, it's not just as easy as good and bad. I'm like, no, yes it is. On a lot of topics. This is 18 minutes in. My version of good and bad. I'll start with this. We as a society in America have moved on too quickly from Renee Good in that situation because as obvious as, here we go everybody. As obvious as that Renee Good situation, the fact that she lost her life in that manner from the cop. I'm a black man in America. This is off the hinges. I'm going to go all the way in for as long as I can. Hey, I love this channel. Shout out to my YouTube channel. Renee Good's situation probably happened because of Keith Porter's situation that I argue. Keith Porter died in a police-style way. Probably set off the public in a way that we didn't know. When we go outside, as far as just us normal people going outside, going to Walmart or wherever we buy groceries, we see these NPCs, but we don't really think of it because they're in our community. They're just a part of the population. We're out there buying pork chops and chicken and vegetables, but it could be the person we just walk our cart right past. A stranger that's in our community for many, many years. We don't really notice them because we don't talk to people unless, You're that person that's everyone's best friend. I sense that Keith Porter probably was a situation where when he died, that whole entire community within a block radius of Minnesota, of where Keith Porter stayed, probably set up for a good situation for her to be even outside. And so that's what some people argue. Why was she even outside? Not to bring an entire situation to what we already know, my takeaway from why we moved on too fast was not really her death. It was more importantly the people that were, holy snap, they were justifying her. No, they were justifying the cop's actions, like he was in the right, or there was a certain level of people that I should really watch my words and to say that they were, I guess you could tell them they saw a different video than I did. When we're just talking Renee Good, of course, not Alex Preddy, but with just the Renee Good situation, you could tell them that they saw a different video. And of course, a lot of people know what I'm talking about. There's a group of people out there that just said, hey, no, that happened. She died, but she didn't die being a hero. Jeez Louise, pepper cheese. You know, there's so many sad turns. I'll admit, every time I say off the hinges, I'm gonna just go into a real personal side of myself where, again, I look at these videos and I say, hey, Daron, you look tight as hell right now, my goddamn man. 30 years, Jesus Crystal, you're gonna. Ooh, if that's gonna be the schedule. Alright, so everybody's on this planet to be themselves. Nobody that I know of is out there pushing whatever history is, what Earth is supposed to be for everyone. Because, that would just be called propaganda. All good people literally, all good people literally, they find that shit easy. I mean, I'll save that quote for later, but good people, I guess we were just born this way. Or as I always say, I'm a good person when nobody's looking. What does that mean? That can mean so many things. Most importantly for me, it means leaving people alone, or I guess minding my own business. I really pride myself on minding my own business. Yeah, I'm literally talking to myself in my apartment where no matter how I could go far into politics, aliens, the aliens, these aliens, and of course these trees. Shout out to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pine trees. I mean, really 6, but I could really see 5 in my clear view. Pine trees I could see. There's a lot of things going on this planet. I can't tell you who has the knowledge that knows everything that's going on this planet. I would say it's up to you after you find your own answers to your own questions. We have our own education, We're all adults here. The people that are literally just lying for the sake of, I guess it's just, I always argue, it's who they are. Most importantly, this world is not a utopia. If this world was a utopia, not to say everyone would be the same or act the same, operate the same, but oh man, it's a quote from the Matrix. And Agent Smith said, you know, the first Matrix that we built, it was beautiful, peaceful, flawless. But you humans rejected it. And so we had to build another Matrix, then we had to build this. The very question of you being a good person or a bad person, whether it's today, tomorrow, or whenever you get fed up whenever you get fed up, because even what a good person has their last string that broke their back, that turns a pacifist into a violent person. I really watch a lot of independent news, a lot of independent media, news sources. We're not even 30 minutes in. And so I listen to hours of people talk about their situations on the ground. What's starting to really affect me today is the fact that the truth is, well, first off, people don't care. Some people could care less. But the truth at the same time binds like-minded people. And that's why I always can find comfort in the fact that this world, it is how it looks right now in 2026. But it's almost like a Rubik's Cube where in the topic of just talking about a Rubik's Cube, it solves itself, but right before every color is in place, there's a mess. And that's what keeps me sane in all these events that some people take too far, or all these events that some people hold to their hearts, or all these events that radicalize people. I voted Green Party in 2024. In 2024, I voted, I think for the first time ever in America. Yeah, in America. I voted for the Green Party, Jill Stein and Butch Ware. For many reasons, the most obvious one is to keep them on the ballot for the next election. I find myself promoting the Green Party into saying their platform was very easy. They were not running on a genocide, also running on some basic problems that can be solved once America takes all 800 to 1,000 bases off of, any territory that we're currently on. That a lot of Americans had no idea we were even there. We had no idea. Hey, I was born in New York City, raised in Jersey City. As far as this video being as solid as it is, a lot of Americans, as I could call it, had no idea that America, as far as a government, in the government, we don't know who's in the government controlling the government. We had no idea it was that bad as far as what we were doing to other countries, or what I should say, the fuckery of. It's just unnecessary, but this world's not peaceful, so yeah. It's interesting how the concept of, oh, your life is good, so what the fuck are you worrying about the rest of the world's problems for? It's an interesting concept. I think it's kind of selfish, especially with nowadays, the fact that TV is just there. And most importantly, you have access to good information. All information, I think, is good information because all information gives you your own, I guess you'll find your own crowd, you'll find your own what hits you. And me, right now, today, at the age of 34, I listen to, all right, here's my fan base. Everybody that has access to my Yafun Tuntum Oja YouTube page. Every channel that I'm subscribed to, I listen to a majority of everything on that list. Oh man, the balance is so real. The balance is real. I did see that video. Oh shit, hold on. How recent is this episode for? If you wanted to know. It's not the fact I told you today's date. That's not how recent it is. How recent is it? Is all these events, hey, this is my neck. Not wearing a mask. Yeah, I ain't wearing a mask, do this shit, bro. Yo. What else can I say that's fucking trolling? Yeah, I'm not wearing a mask. Not wearing a mask. I do have my dark circle under my eyes. That's due to cavities. That's due to lack of sleep. Hey, I have these raccoon circles because I don't sleep often. I'll go back to the world in a second, maybe, I don't know. But I don't sleep often for many of my own reasons. Is it because of the chain I'm wearing? Probably. You know, I deal with a lot of pain that I'm only comfortable with because right now I'm not dealing with it. So it's not like you could see the look on my face, but there are a lot of pain. Sometimes I can't sleep. Some days, most days, it's what kind of pain do you have to go through that keeps you awake, no matter how tired you are? Because you could sleep through a lot, but you know, this world and how it's shaping out to be. Again, I want to blame two things, or shape out two things, or leave with two big things. Oh, hey, it's 33 minutes. It's always 33 minutes. Two things is Green Party and the United Nations. So going back to the Green Party, it has 4 pillars. Outside of being the duopoly, or outside of the Green Party being outside of the duopoly, it has 4 pillars. The first one, peace and nonviolence. Second one, grassroots democracy. Third one, I believe it's social justice. And the 4th pillar of the Green Party is ecological wisdom. As far as all 4 pillars, you can call me crazy. I can't accept that. I can honestly just be at peace with you calling me that. But as far as me being crazy, I think that if 300 million Americans were to fall under the banner of, wouldn't have to be just Green Party, but you know, those 4 pillars make sense to me. The reason why I say Green Party is because of the current ballot access that they already have. I understand that we're dealing with the ballot access situation in Arizona. Yeah, I think it was Arizona. It's some stuff shit. I will tell you that. We live in America, but as far as the democracy, or I should say, as far as my cover photo, land of the free, home of the brave, it definitely is the land of the free before we knew. Home of the brave as far as what we could do. Oh, snap. Oh, shit. Yeah. That's is I couldn't be a Republican or a Democrat because of the obviousness that you could find online why both parties are not helping the minimum wage move up. And I'll just stick to that. I'll just stick to that because I'm not going to dwell on their people. So, yeah, if 300 million people, hypothetically, very hypothetical in a very pure fantasy, were to move underneath the Green Party, I think it would shift not only the grassroots democracy pillar of the Green Party into having many, social elections underneath that. Right now, in my reality that we all see for now is most Green Party members, once they make it into office, what do they do? What can they do? If they make it to office, a lot of Green Party members find themselves in a pump and dump situation where they say, donate to my campaign. Donate to my campaign. These Democrats are doing yada and these Republicans are doing hot fodder, and the Green Party is the only way. Donate to my campaign so we could get in and go ahead and go. Yeah. But how strong is a Green Party candidate once they actually get into office? Most importantly, how strong is the Lewis Powell doctrine of how corporate entities should just spend so much money on politicians? There's a lot of things set into place that Americans, again, are starting to wake up to now that we all didn't know before. And so now it's time. The good thing about Donald J. Trump in his second election is the fact that we do see change. For what it's worth. Why are you smiling? Anyway, change is possible. And I will also add on to this. I'm very wise, so please take this apart in my future into saying, on this day, May 25th, 2026, unlike some Americans, how they feel. I know how the gas prices is right now. Like it matters. I think Mr. Donald J. Trump should finish off his 4 years of presidency. He did a year and 6 months. He has to complete all 4, and then, as the American transitions always go, most likely we'll be pushed into a, hey, whoa, 3 years from now, who knows? Any candidate could be up and running. So last episode 4 off the Hinges was 3 years ago. I might make more videos for the sake of the fact you guys think I am not what's that word, accessible. Yeah, I see all those Instagram videos. Sometimes I be in the comments, but I do see those Instagram videos of the American people, some are my age, saying, hey, I lost my job. I'm about to get kicked out, or I'm sleeping in my car. Life is rough. Can't pay my busy ills. Can't pay my busy ills. I don't got none of this money. In all honesty, I'm about to play in the same pen as everyone else. This apartment I'm walking in, as of right now, next week, today, I would technically be moving out because I'm in the same boat of not having enough money. See, I guess I should go into, I'll just give you a brief history of my last couple of years. I had one job that was actually paying enough money to not only get this apartment that you could see the ceiling in and maintain this apartment that you could see the background of, but that job, it was pretty cool, but I had to leave that job for many reasons. One of those reasons was I left on November 28th, 2025. My last meeting with all my coworkers, I said, well, they asked me, hey, because, they made it a big deal when I was in the meeting on Zoom. They were like, hey, where are you going? Why are you leaving us? And I told them, you could ask them, yeah. I told them, I'm gonna go change the world. It's easier said than done. November 28th, 2025. I believe it. I said it on that day because we did have that meeting on that day. Or if not on that Monday, whatever. I can't remember. Who cares? But yeah, I did say I'm here to change the world. It's easier said than done. This is 2026. How much do I want to tell everybody? Well, I did have that conversation with my father, so certain things happen for certain other things to happen. I guess you guys are going to realize that today. 2015, I received a dream. In my dreams, was it MK Ultra? I highly doubt it. Certain people shouldn't give this government all the credit for power. That's not wise. You think all the humans got power? Anyway, 2015, I received a dream. To explain this dream, here's why I'm gonna just drop all of this in episode 4 off the Hinges. Because episode 4 off the Hinges is a reason for me to say, in this future, nobody else should have any credit for me saying what I'm saying right now, because I already said it on my channel, on my YouTube channel, for what it's worth. So whether I say it anywhere else again, it would just be again. And then I would just come back to saying, hey, I said it on my channel. So in 2015, wonder what everybody else was doing. What I was doing, I was a year into living in Florida. But to make a long story short, I received a dream, and that dream was vivid. Oh my goodness, I don't really get missions like that anymore. Yeah, you don't get any missions like that. And I use that word mission because I didn't know it was a mission until 4 years later. Yeah, episode 4 of the Hinges. I'm pausing because I'm thinking if I should tell you about the dream or if I should just tell you about 4 years later when the mission showed itself. I'll tell you both because this is my shit. The dream itself in 2015. The fact that we're all connected when we all go to sleep, some of us actually meet each other. I didn't know. Whether it's involuntary or voluntary, it's for a bigger reason that at that time I didn't know. Apparently, at that time, I was supposed to understand where this individual was in the dream. So the dream was more or less a reach. Episode 4 of Hinges. The dream was more or less a reach. How I did it is a question I still try to answer today. Meditation. But anyway, in 2015, I had a dream and I realized it was a connection established. And then 4 years later, okay, so in that dream, how I knew it was a connection was I actually wow, it got quiet. Jeez, I mean, this apartment, you would think it would, the world's listening. Control's not the word, but catch a glimpse is what I should say, because it was just a glimpse into a person's life. Apparently, this world and all its green and trees, to blame anything, has its way of correcting itself before it gets too bad. And so I saw that at the time it was just a dream. I had no idea. I had no idea that 4 years later. Can you imagine that 4 years later, you're just minding your business and so this 4 years later in 2018. Oh shit, that's 3 years later. So yeah, damn, wow, I guess that's right. I mean, I see 2015, it was really 2014, but 2015 was when I was in Florida. That's when I know I got the mission. That's when I know, the dream, or not the dream, but the mission, more or less, or whatever you want to call it. But that was 2014, I guess 2015. I say 15 because either way, that doesn't really matter because in 2018, yes, there is a conspiracy out there not against me, but there is a conspiracy out there tailor-made for me. It is the only proof. It is the only debut. That changed everything. And I explained this story twice before. Once to my IT brethren, and second to this girl that worked at AccuCode. And when I told that girl at AccuCode, that's when I felt like, oh, I'm just an old man talking about the glory days. But this is episode 4 off the Hinges. So one last time for all my fans. Do I have any? I need ACs, not fans. ACs, you got the cold air, yo. The cold in the air and the AC and the fans just blowing hot air. At least the ACs could, ACs could turn into fans, but also ACs could got that chemical in them to blow cold air. What are you talking about? Anyway, so yeah, this dream that I had in 2000, 28. Oh my God, yeah. 2028. Let's talk about this dream. Episode 4. Off the hinges. There's no going back. That's why I'm holding back, everybody. I'm holding back all these details because some people know. With my tired. What? Anyway, some people know. But if I say this, I'll just be the first to stick my neck out and sound crazy. So here we are. 2018, I definitely said I saved the world in other videos. How I did it? Same aspect. It was the same person from the 2014 dream. And oh my goodness. I'll just shorten it by saying the world didn't go nuclear in 2018. How I know I did affect the world was when I walked in the next day and a coworker, she put the newspaper on the table in such a way that you'd think I changed an event. Anyway, you would think I changed some shit, so I will never say that I saved the world, but I know I did something that changed something that caused something. And I guess me saying that for the people that have access to that debut video, there's no denying it. It is. There's so many memories I have within my got a bump on my forehead mind that I hold dear. And I will tell you this. Join me in going off the hinges because you won't be able to explain how COVID was my fault. You'll never be able to prove that, so I'll just hold on to that forever. The beautiful thing that happened with COVID is, one, you had people looking at the molecular world. You finally had people looking at their coughs and their sneezes. And we always knew it was micro spritz, little sprays, the mist, your own allergies. But with COVID, now people really had to understand that, yes, every time you even talk around people, you're putting out a little tiny piece of your own bacteria out there in the world. And of course, when you sneeze, that's full force. When you fart, that's light. Gas, can't see it, but you could see it with those fancy goggles. So what COVID did introduced a new generation in not just studying that world, but taking that world seriously. The second good thing that COVID brought to this planet, the whole planet, it showed how the media was kind of important as far as telling us what to do and how to handle COVID, everybody. The air is poison, everybody. People are dying, everybody. So the ones that we trusted to get our news from, they're the ones that first get the information. And yeah, people understand what happened with COVID and the information that came out of that. Almost an hour in. And so the third good thing that happened with COVID, the coronavirus and its release, a conspiracy on how it started, but I'll tell you how it did. Yo, I dead ass. Everything I tell you, it's just a bullet point, and there's just so many details within my mind, and so I'm like, all right, that bullet point's out there now. So, yeah, the third good thing that happened with COVID is it finally had people finally realizing, hey, yeah, if there is just the air that's poison, the trees aren't falling. So, maybe there's a way to eat better. Maybe there's a way to be healthier. Maybe there's a way to exercise, meditate, fast, even placebo effect. Change your mind into a discipline that will have you not only fight the coronavirus without taking any vaccines because you're healthy, but more or less you can fight off all viruses. Just being healthy is the key to fighting all the viruses that most people take pills for or medicines for. And so yeah, the third good thing with COVID is a lot of smoothies became a thing, and a lot of gut biome research again going on with the first point. People started to try to dive into that. They started to realize that, all right, at first point, maybe this COVID's just killing fat people and old people, but at the same time, why not just get healthy yourself? And so, yeah, everybody that didn't really take the shot, they kind of just started to become healthier. That's a third good thing. And if you want to count a fourth and fifth, I would say even, during the COVID era, a lot of people had to stay home and connect and more closeness. And yeah, the fifth thing is the environment. Had a small break from everybody being outside, so even the light pollution was different after a couple of days. But of course, hey, we're in 2026, everybody. I'm only 58 minutes in, about to be, and I could walk into any motherfucking place, you would think. I mean, corona is still in people's head. Now it's the hantavirus, the whatever the fuck they call it virus. Same situations. Is it the same people that need money? Pharmaceutical folks that says, hey, Americans, I know you're at war, but, this is virus now, so you gotta go to this Walgreens. This world is interesting, to me at least. I'm about to go through a phase where I even said it to myself. Oh, what shit, what up? I'm trying to remember what I said to myself. All right, this is where I gotta pull out the laptop. All right, everybody, I'm about to pull out the laptop just so I can remember what the heavens I said in a picture. I'm gonna wrap it up soon, but I will end it off on 2 good points. What? Interesting. That's a good point. I'll talk about K-pop for a second. They deserve it. Before I came to Colorado, there was a point where I actually was homeless when I was living in Pennsylvania. And This was in the year of 2019. I would say, oh, whoa. There's homeless and then there's living in your car. Please understand the difference, because there's a huge difference. I would just say there's a privilege of having a car versus really being homeless. But either way, I was living in my car back in 2019 for a couple of months, and it was around the same time I found K-pop. But as an introduction, I'll tell you, I used to listen to just hip-hop and any other kind of music like any other American my age, but it was a point where I really gave up all music and I was just listening to instrumentals for 2 years, just nothing but instrumentals that I could find. And then there was one artist her name is Victoria Hana. She is a Hebrew Jewish singer, rapper, kinda. She makes music, Hebrew music, Jewish music, and I'll never forget this. Off of one Victoria Hana song on YouTube, when that song ended, there was a thumbnail. No, actually, it was just up next, the next video that I was gonna play, and it was the first K-pop song ever, Red Velvet. Oompa oompa. That was the very first song I listened to. I'm gonna smoke one for that. Hold on, that deserves a fucking hit from the pipe. Yeah, a hit from the motherfucking pipe. I'm not gonna dive into K-pop because that's a whole could be a whole nother video, maybe. I actually like talking about everything else, but episode 5, I was gonna split this into 2 videos. I still might, but anyway, just to end this part 1 with some K-pop, but I gotta take a hit from the pipe. Hey, this is a good angle. But anyway, while I set up this hit, I love how this episode 4 is 1. It's not edited, and hold on. Yeah, the shit's not edited, and most importantly, the shit flowed out exactly how it's supposed to be. So Oompa Oompa was like the first song I heard in 2019 by Red Velvet. As of today, I only am familiar with that's important. So I will say there are 3 core groups. One extended group and one extended times 2 group or honorable mention. So there's Red Velvet, Mamamoo, Blackpink, core groups. Extended is G-Idol, and I do say G-Idol. And the honorable mention is Twice. But let me get back to what's important to ending this video. In 2019, I was definitely living in my car, and I'll never forget, there was one part where I parked underneath a tree, and there was it was a really weird looking old tree that I found, which is always just, yo, I'm like next week about to be living in my car again, and honestly, I am prepared for it in the sense that it is a peaceful life. There is some peace in actually just waking up and, just hearing the birds from finding just a good parking spot, which just so happens to be home for that one night. But I do understand that at this age, being 34. Oh yeah, that's the quote I was gonna find you guys. At this age, being 34, going back to being, quote, homeless, quote, living in my car, it's gonna be harder to bounce back, aka it's gonna be harder to get back this apartment. But we're in May 2026. The quote was, yeah, here it is. Oh wait, to earn my respect, do what I did. Take a risk into the unknown. People are scared of the unknown. Some people that know me, they know that I have seen a future or the future. But to keep it sane, you gotta just say a future, because you don't know what's gonna happen from right now, 3 years from now. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you I did. I mean, I could tell you. No, I could tell you. But I don't know. And so, outside of that, I'll leave it off with two things. Seeing the future, I did say that it's possible an episode off the Hinges, 1 or 2, but it's important to even not have an ego once you, I guess, have seen a future. The Oracle said you don't see past the decisions you can't make, or what you say? You can't see past the decisions you don't understand. Yep, that's what the Oracle said. You cannot see past the decisions you don't understand. But seeing the future, from what I could tell you, off the Hinges, it sadly gives you kind of an ego where you're like, oh, I've seen it, so nothing I do from here till then, like, I am invincible, but not really, but kind of, because if that's gonna happen, then nothing I could do now can change that from happening, which is interesting concept. Very interesting concept. Second thing I'll leave you guys off with is, oh wow, I actually did forget that. Yeah, I did forget what that second thing was, but I do have something in storage. I will make a part 2. I'm gonna go eat. Alright, sorry, never mind. I'm not gonna make a part 2. But anyway, I'll leave it off with what's most important. Pangea. The reason why you can't knock me off of it, and probably not just me, a lot of other people. When I was raised in Jersey City in PS23, this was the elementary school. I was only there from the 1st grade to the 6th grade. What I witnessed during that age was all cultures having fun together, we're all the same age, so we didn't know any better. Wow, here goes the drinking, weed talking. Yeah, we're all the same age. I saw all many different cultures. Me being quote unquote half African, half Jamaican, born in America, but looked at as a black man. I saw every culture that you could think of representing the United Nations when I was actually in the fifth grade. There was one point in the gym where I said, wow, I was young in the fifth grade looking around like, wow, this is what the world looks like. But I was in Jersey City. Not many people nationwide understand that not only can we coexist with our religions, but we could coexist even in the same aspect of, you know, how some people, I don't know, what the fuck, they would harbor hate. They harbor hate. You could be as angry as you want to, but as soon as you start doing stuff, that's the difference between the radicalized. Yeah, that's the last thing I'll say because I'm smiling, and that will change everything. I'll never be radicalized by anything that will be put in front of my face. You guys should see me when I'm truly myself. I'm just talking to you in a camera in a room that I'm comfortable in, but imagine when I have to live every word that, you know, somebody could pull up this video that I'm about to post on YouTube and say, you said this. Be like, yeah. My switch up is incredible, and I do respect and appreciate myself for that. But this future that we have, always have hope. And always understand that this world has a way of correcting itself. I do have my missions. Yo, I have my missions that I can say is a failsafe, and these are brand new missions. Well, you know, that sounds like a. All right, here we go. Me minding my own business. I'm really a person that could say, hey, I'm almost more peaceful than a lot of Buddhist monks. But again, when I get the green light, the only person you should ever listen to is the person that can fly. Don't listen to me. Anybody that you see flying around, that person, listen to that motherfucker. But yeah. We all have our days ahead of us. I do sense that there is two paths for me, at least, from what I could see. And most importantly, this towel hanging on the wall. I just used that 2 hours ago. That's where the dryness came from. But I'm going to tell everybody in this episode 4 of Off the Hinges, there's two paths that I see. There's a path of, I could say, love and love being held by the highest protection. And the other path is my fucking way. You damn fucking right. You fucking did it. Yeah, damn right. Yeah, no, I'm dead serious. Yeah, that's actually the only two paths I see. It's and also my way is probably my way wouldn't be my way if I didn't have the authority to do it. And so shout out to the trees, shout out to the birds, shout out to the bunny that I did see before I started recording this. Shout out to the motherfucking, I already said, well, didn't say the squirrels, but you know, they have a lot of pulling up to do. Shout out to the Canadian goose, shout out to that one goose. And as far as everyone on this YouTube channel bearing with me for this episode 4 off the hinges. Light and sound, everybody. And I'll see you guys soon, but you should always have hope. This world operates off of light and sound. That's what I know, but don't listen to me. Listen to the person. That's fine. Peace.